Officials prepare to distribute the first doses of the Pfizer vaccine, a monumental first step in the fight to end the COVID-19 pandemic.
The first group that has been targeted are workers in long-term care facilities in Toronto.
Who's the first to get the vaccine and how it will all work? Plus,
our message is, please stay home. Please stay home with the people that you live with.
crowded scenes at York area malls prompting stern responses as more regions enter lockdown. And piping up over an unsightly pipeline. Some Mississauga residents want to know what can be done about their new addition to their neighborhood. We begin with breaking news. The first COVID-19 vaccines have arrived on Canadian soil. This UPS plane arrived just a few hours ago at Montreal Mirabel International Airport. They've had quite the journey, leaving Belgium Friday, making brief stopovers in Germany and the US, and now finally here. Good evening, I'm Marivel Tarouk. Those Pfizer vaccines are scheduled to arrive in Toronto tomorrow. And Toronto General Hospital will receive 3,000 doses. Those will go into the arms of long-term care workers, a group carefully chosen by the government to be the first vaccinated. Natalie Nanowski has more on the initial rollout.
Inside these boxes, vials of the Pfizer vaccine. By tomorrow afternoon, they're expected to arrive at Toronto General Hospital, where staff will begin administering the shot to long-term care workers.
Starting on Monday or Tuesday, we'll be drawing people from long-term care facilities. They'll be coming to a site at the University Health Network. We'll be giving them their first vaccination and then obviously following up with them, and 21 days later, they'll be back for their second vaccination.
The choice to vaccinate long-term care workers first is a strategic one. Homes have been the hardest hit by the virus, but the vaccine is too delicate to send directly to long-term care residents. So instead, workers will be given an appointment to come and get the shot first.
The belief is that starting with long-term care and then moving into broader healthcare workers would be a very appropriate and responsible way to begin.
Friends, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Still, officials are warning, don't get complacent. Only a fraction of the population is getting vaccinated now, and even when the shot becomes widely available, full protection from the coronavirus only happens about a week after you receive the second and final shot, meaning it takes your body about a month to become immune.
While we're rolling out the vaccination program, don't forget the health measures that are absolutely crucial to making this a success. Wear your mask. Don't touch your face. Wash your hands. Stay away from people. Stay away from me. And stay home if you possibly can.
Once these doses are given out, staff in Toronto and Ottawa will write a report that will then be sent to other hospitals across the province to help them prepare for mass vaccinations. Natalie Nanowski, CBC News, Toronto.
Across the country, the armed forces are standing by to distribute the vaccines to 14 separate sites. 30,000 doses total are in the first shipment, marking the beginning of the biggest immunization campaign in Canadian history. So far, COVID-19 has claimed more than 13,000 lives in Canada and infected more than 450,000 people. Well, a slightly lower case count in the province today, with 1,677 additional infections reported. That includes 456 cases in Toronto, 356 in Peel, and 143 in York region. The majority of cases reported today are in people under the age of 60. 813 people across the province are in hospital due to COVID-19, with about 250 in intensive care and 140 on ventilators. The province also reported 16 new deaths today. The Toronto District School Board announced this evening that 6 more schools will be closed until January 4th due to COVID-19 outbreaks.
There's really no specific number or threshold that would prompt Toronto Public Health to advise us to dismiss all students and staff, effectively close a school. They look at the individual circumstances around all the cases and then make that determination. So they looked at all of the individual circumstances around the cases at each of these schools and then advised the TDSB that they felt that all students and staff should be dismissed.
The schools on the list are City Adult Learning Center, Humewood Community School, R.H. McGregor Elementary School, David Lewis Public School, Grenoble Public School, and Oak Ridge Junior Public School. Earlier this month, Thorncliffe Park Public School, Fraser Mustard Early Learning Academy, and Mark Garneau Collegiate were also shuttered due to cases at those schools. Well, in just under an hour, 7 areas of the province will move into stricter zones. York Region and Windsor-Essex will join Toronto and Peel in lockdown. News of the restrictions had many residents swarming the malls this weekend, causing Toronto's mayor to speak out.
Can't contemplate for the life of me, why there would have been lineups around those big box stores yesterday or today. But there seem to be a certain number of people who just think it's more important to go and get, Uncle Frank a scarf than it is to just stay home and stop themselves from getting COVID or stop themselves from spreading it to somebody else because they might be carrying it.
Hundreds waited outside Vaughan Mills Mall this weekend with lines snaking around the building. And this is outside Hillcrest Mall in Richmond Hill today. Both centers extended their hours this weekend to maximize shopping time before the shutdown. Meanwhile, non-essential stores will move to curbside pickup only, which has some shop owners worried.
If we'd just been able to stay open at least in some sort of capacity, like even just have like maybe one customer in the store at a time, that would still make a huge difference for a small store like me, and would still allow me to capture like the Christmas market.
The new measures come into effect at 12:01 a.m. That means restaurants, bars, and gyms will be closed, and the lockdown is expected to last at least 28 days. A live look for you at Windsor tonight. The region also headed into lockdown later this evening. The health unit there announced last week that all 114 schools in the region will be closed tomorrow, with students transitioning to online learning. All right, let's bring in Christina now to take a look at our weather forecast. Nice clear night out there tonight after a soggy weekend.
Absolutely, Maribel. So we're looking at clear skies, but cooler temperatures, really right at seasonal, but it is going to be the coldest week that we have endured yet for this season. So overnight, you can see here Toronto right at the freezing mark. We're going to dip just below the freezing mark as we head into pre-dawn. And for our Monday morning, -1, we're seeing sun and a little bit of cloud cover, feeling like -5, but here is the clincher for you. It looks like we could be dealing with a little bit of snowfall. Earlier, you just saw that satellite pass us right by, and there we had a little bit of snowfall for the northern regions of Ontario. Now for our Monday morning, for the start of a new week, we could be feeling some of that for southern Ontario. We do have a snow squall watch in place and a weather advisory. For the area of Sault Ste. Marie, we could be dealing with some poor travel along Highway 17. And for the afternoon, we could be dealing with a little bit of this lake effect snow for southern Ontario. Although we are looking at heavier snowfall, it's really going to be localized. Here's a quick look at your Monday. Toronto, 2 degrees. That'll be your afternoon high. And as you can see here, as we head north into Barrie, we could be dealing with some of those flurries. And I'll be back shortly with your long-range forecast.
Okay, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thanks,
Okay,
Christina.
see you then.
2 teens were hospitalized following a shooting in Scarborough last night.
What happened to me again?
What I know so far is that one male suspect who was wearing what's
Very
described as
very
a
soft.
dark green
So
moose
that's
knuckle
not-
jacket with white trim around the around the hood, exited the vehicle and fired several gunshots at the victim vehicle behind me here, and then entered that vehicle and fled again.
It happened shortly before midnight outside Cedar Brae Mall. Police say there was an altercation between the occupants of 2 vehicles. When officers arrived, they found a vehicle which had crashed into a pole. Inside the car were 2 teens suffering from gunshot wounds. One of them was shot in his head, the other in his arm. Police say both teens were transported to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A third individual was treated on scene for minor injuries. Police have identified the suspect vehicle as a light blue import sedan. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. The body of a man has been recovered after a partial building collapse in London, Ontario on Friday. The incident happened just before noon at a 4-story building under construction in the city's West End. One victim died in hospital shortly after being pulled from the wreckage. Another person, who was also pronounced dead, had been buried under the rubble until late last night. The 2 victims have been identified as 26-year-old Henry Harder and 21-year-old John Martins. 2 different online crowdfunding campaigns have raised thousands each for the families of the 2 men. Ontario's Ministry of Labour is investigating the cause of the collapse. Peel police are seeking the public's help in locating a missing woman they say is vulnerable. Wasila Bakil was last seen Saturday just after midnight in her home in Mississauga, in the area of Glen Erin Drive and Eglinton Avenue West.
Wasila is described as a female of Middle Eastern descent. She's 31 years old. She's 5'1", 110 pounds, a small build, and she was last seen wearing a long, dark-colored skirt with some decorative coloring on the sleeves and on the waist area.
She left. They also say her family is concerned as she has autism and may appear confused. Police have set up a command center in the area. Residents in Mississauga are piping mad all over an above-ground stretch of pipeline, now located at the entrance to their neighborhood. As Lauren Pelly reports, the community has major safety concerns, and there's no clear solution in sight.
This is the massive pipe and valve system prompting alarm in Mississauga.
We started to see the monstrosity that we're now looking at being constructed, and we couldn't believe our eyes and ears.
The pipeline delivers fuel throughout the region. This above-ground valve was built after a portion of the line was relocated amid a years-long provincial project to improve the QEW and Credit River. Residents are concerned about its impact on neighborhood character.
This belongs in an industrial area.
And poorer visibility for drivers.
It creates a blind left turn for everybody that comes out of this area.
So how long is it exactly? We decided to measure it to find out.
This tape measure is 15 meters long and...
Oh, I ran out of tape.
The biggest issue on residents' minds about this big new structure is safety.
If somebody comes down here at a high rate of speed and loses control, they go right into that.
And it's located at the only entrance to the neighborhood.
Act of terror, vandalism, or blow the valve. We don't have escape route.
Pipeline operator Trans Northern Pipelines Incorporated told CBC News above-ground valves are now an industry best practice, offering enhanced safety. The company also said it met every requirement for the project's approval with federal regulators and city officials. In a statement, Mississauga's Mayor Bonnie Crombie said council is calling for an investigation from Trans Northern, regulators, and the province, adding that while the pipe valve is unsightly and in a location that does not make sense, Mississauga City Council does not have the jurisdiction to relocate it.
I've asked the city.
As for the provincial government,
we have no jurisdiction on where they put a valve or where they put the pipeline.
So what are the solutions? The local MPP suggests moving the entrance road away from the new valve, and the company is offering to enhance the fencing. But residents just want it gone.
It's a disruption to the neighborhood, and it shouldn't have happened this way.
Lauren Pelly, CBC News, Mississauga.
It's almost like a digital mall directory almost. Like it's broken up into categories where you can sort of just basically online shop, but just exclusively through local.
Introducing Not Amazon, a movement encouraging Torontonians to buy from hundreds of local businesses. Stay with us. The public health fight against COVID-19 has been colossal, but it hinges on effective communication. And for new Canadians, that communication can be a problem volunteers in and around Toronto are aiming to fix. Angelina King has that story.
By sharing videos about the importance of quarantining, when to get tested for COVID-19, and how, the South Asian COVID Task Force is getting the message across in several different languages.
We're really a voice for our families, for our community.
Started a few weeks ago by frontline healthcare workers, the dozens of volunteers share vital COVID-19 information that's both understood by different cultures and resonates with them.
And the task force was instrumental.
Peel Region's top doctor says in the last week, the group helped increase testing numbers at 2 sites from around 300 a day to 500.
We've been very grateful for the task force and being able to take the insight they have to advocate to our provincial partners to identify better ways to reduce barriers to testing.
Here in Peel Region, people of color make up just over 60% of the population, but account for 85% of all COVID-19 cases. And of those positive cases, more than half are from the South Asian community.
They're in trades and manufacturing. They're the ones who are having to go into work every day so other people can stay home.
Dr. Anand says other challenges include isolating in a multi-generational home and English being a second language. The task force says it's gained the trust of the community, which is critical for the next step, vaccine messaging.
The vaccine will only be successful if the community that we're seeking to deploy it in, they understand that all these officials are trying to help.
Today they were talking with Ontario's Vaccine Distribution Task Force, which hopes to learn from them.
This is not me talking to them. This is me listening to them. Can we design this program to really respect the needs of various communities?
And as the vaccination campaign ramps up, the group will continue sharing these crucial doses of information. Angelina King, CBC News, Mississauga.
For the growing number of Canadians who want to shop local and help retailers in their city survive the pandemic, there's a new website that's as easy and convenient to use as Amazon, except it's not Amazon. Nazima Walji explains.
Everything you'll see in the boutique, from the way the croissants are made.
When COVID hit, Morgan Saba knew boosting sales online was the only way to survive.
Obviously with COVID, we've decided to push going online faster than we had anticipated.
And over Black Friday weekend, she noticed a spike in sales.
Every day I'm sort of tracking where are we obtaining our traffic from. So is it from Instagram? Is it from a specific site? And I was checking and I saw that 79% of our traffic came on from a site called Not Amazon. And when I first looked at the site, I was like, oh, I've never heard of this.
This is just the home page, and you basically can just scroll through. You can submit a business.
But NotAmazon.ca founder Ali Haberstraw says the idea behind the website that started with a list is catching on.
I posted the spreadsheet, I guess, like a week ago, just on Instagram, and I thought literally like 100 people would see it. And it became very popular. It was very nice, but I had no idea it would blow up the way it has.
It's an initiative to help support small local businesses.
It's almost like a digital mall directory almost. Like it's broken up into categories where you can sort of just basically online shop, but just exclusively through local. And I just made it so it kind of made the convenience of Amazon, but only with local things. So I think the biggest issue with people not shopping local is Amazon is more convenient. So I think that making it convenient kind of removes the ability to have that excuse.
And showcases Toronto's diversity.
Toronto is such like an embarrassment of riches for culture, both like in quality and quantity. So I think that people maybe assume that it's not going anywhere. And I think with the last year, we realized it very much can.
The website's expanded to include cities like Calgary, Halifax, and Hamilton, and there are plans to launch in Ottawa. Green Jar owner Tanis Bundy found her store on the list as well.
It's really great to see that our community members are supporting small businesses. It's really important. It's an integral part of the community.
Thanks to this, we had a lot of people come into the boutique. We had a lot of people call, order online. So it's been really good for us.
In a tough year for small businesses, every effort helps. Nazima Walji, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, coming up, a campaign of kindness. How a group of young people is helping out amid the pandemic. After the break. Muslim youth in Toronto were offering their support this weekend, picking up groceries and filling prescriptions for those who need assistance.
The purpose of launching this initiative was to help the vulnerable and needy, our neighbors specifically, those who cannot come out because they're in quarantine or perhaps in isolation due to COVID-19 as well.
It's part of a nationwide initiative organized by the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association called the Neighborhood Helper Campaign. Organizers say they're ramping up the initiative over the holidays to support as many Canadians as possible. Okay, we've got your long range now with Christina, and it looks like we really need to settle into winter.
Oh yes, I mean a little bit. I got sad just hearing you say that. Yeah, because I'm thinking about all those layers, right? Yeah, you're going to need them. You're going to need them this week, Maribel. And for our Monday, for the start of our new week, it looks like we could be dealing with a little bit of snowfall, something that I tried to show earlier on our satellite and radar. So you're seeing this throughout the higher terrains. And then it looks like for our Monday morning, we could be dealing with a little bit of this carrying into our Tuesday, but we're really going to be dealing with a little bit of lake effect snow for our Monday. So Monday, 2 degrees in Toronto, as you can see here, as you're shifting north, more of those flurries, but you want to dress warm. Tuesday, -3 degrees. A little bit of sunshine here is going to pop out, but by Wednesday, it looks like our next system could be coming into play here. And we are thinking that we could see about 5 to 10 centimeters of snowfall here for your Wednesday, and then this pushing into your Thursday morning. So absolutely, winter has arrived. So your Monday at 2 degrees, your Tuesday -3 degrees, feeling though like -8. It's time to bundle up. Wednesday feeling like -10. And then here is the chance of those flurries for your Wednesday. Let's head into the nation's capital. So Ottawa. Here are your flurries right at the freezing mark, feeling like -4. Tuesday, -9 degrees, feeling like -16 in Ottawa for your Tuesday. Very similar for your Wednesday, and then Thursday a little bit warmer, feeling like -11. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday it looks like we're going to be a little bit warmer. Barrie, Ontario, here are your flurries for your Monday and your Tuesday. A lot of cloud cover and build up for your Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, the sun peaks out, but our overall message is, yeah, we're going to have a little bit of activity this week and cold temperatures.
So many minuses. Okay.
I know. I'll see you all next weekend. Stay warm.
Have a good one. Thanks, Christina.
Thank you.
Well, it's a dream combo, really. Hamilton rockers the Arkells and CBC's Working Mom star Catherine Reitman. They recently met up to create a little ditty paying tribute to the Canadian Red Cross.
We do our little part, but we know who the heroes are. Merci beaucoup. That's for our friends in Quebec. Thank you, thank you.
While giving thanks, the two also poked fun at some of our new pandemic habits, like more comfortable Zoom call attire or pajamas. That's our show for you tonight. Thanks for watching. Have a great night, everyone.